Hey everybody, this is Uncle Fester again. So this is just a quick addendum to my Killer Instinct modding tutorial. So I'm gonna explain as concisely as I possibly can what I recommend for modders to do to distribute their mods until we figure out a different way to mod this game. If the current way of modding is the only way that we can mod it, then I think what makes sense is to do it in a fashion that makes it easy for everybody to install and uninstall mods and to distribute mods themselves. So I'm going to include my shitty mod Bloody Wolf. It's an extremely basic texture mod. There's two textures that are changed. The mod is extremely light, doesn't take up any space. So I'm going to include it with the tool set so that modders can use it as a template to create their own mods. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. So I'm going to include this file here, install Bloody Wolf mod, and I'm going to include an uninstaller. Okay, you can open this up in Notepad or Notepad++, and this is what you'll see. This is the batch file for my mod. So I put a title here. That doesn't matter. You can put whatever you want there. You can remove that line if you want. You don't have to have a title on your mod. That's unimportant. This is important. Okay, and I explain everything in the batch file, but still I want to ensure that as few people as possible are confused by this process. So, like this says, creates backup folders to avoid user input. This line will create a backup folder which the installer will extract the original files from the pack into. So my mod is called Bloody Wolf. So I create backup Bloody Wolf. This will create a folder called Bloody Wolf, and the contents of this pack will be extracted into this folder, which makes it extremely simple to uninstall the mod and revert the changes. This creates backups of files that are used in the mod. So here is where some people for some reason might get confused. The format needs to stay exactly the same. What you will change is this part here, where this is the name of the character as it extracts. So when you extract, because I feel like I have to show this because there's too many people that can't follow simple instructions. When you extract your pack for modding, you create a folder called characters, and that folder is the name of the character that the pack belongs to or that you are modding. So if it's Riptor, you do Riptor, Saberwolf, you do Saberwolf, whatever the hell the name of the character is, that is the name that you would put here. And in this is the name of the file that you've modded. So I'm going to show that again because I'm trying to avoid as much confusion as possible. Let's close that. Okay, so I modded this file and this file. So the name of the file is saberwolf underscore cm dot kitex. That the file type tells you what the extension is. I've put these so that my hex editor can see them, so I can just double click on them and it'll load. But if not, if it's a file type that isn't known, you'll see the extension on the file. Ki mat, ki mesh, whatever. So that is the name that you write here. And unless you're doing a bunch of different files where it makes sense to just leave the root without a file name and let it extract the entire character into a temporary folder, which is not going to happen. I mean, you got over 500 megabytes of character files. I doubt anybody's going to create one single character with all that. I mean, unless you're doing an overhaul of all of his colors and his alternate textures and all that garbage. If that's what you're going to do, then you might as well distribute it as a pack file and just compress it. And well, you'd have to write your own installer for that. But if it's just a few textures or even 10 or 20 textures that you edit, you would list them here. You and this is a spat file, so um, you can use wildcards, meaning you could use, let's say, you wanted to do um, all of the texture files. That will extract all of the texture files into this folder. Okay, now you do not touch this. You leave this alone. That has to stay like that. You do not touch this part. That is the directory structure for the end user. Okay, that is how Killer Instinct directory is located. This is Killer Instinct. Okay, I have mine in games. People might have it in Steam apps, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. This is it's this folder structure. So they would get their mod, extract it here, and double click on the installation folder. So that folder structure needs to remain the way I have it written, because the installer looks in that folder, then this folder, then it searches for the correct pack. It's simple stuff. This is extremely simple stuff. So you're listing the name of the pack in there. That's the only thing that you change is the name of the pack file that you are modding. So if you've modded Spinal's Retro Costumes, that would be this one. Then this is what you would put in there, right? You would put this. That's what you would put. And what I would recommend is, because things aren't as difficult as everybody seems to try to make it. I make shit as easy as possible for everybody to use. This is simple. You highlight that, replace all, and you replace the 3 instances where that needs to be changed. It's that simple. Life isn't as difficult as everybody makes it out to be. Shit is simple. Modding is not that hard. I don't make it, I try not to make it difficult. You only change the pack file, the name of the pack file. That's it. You would of course change this because this has to match this. So if your characters, if you've labeled your character Shitty Wolf dot whatever, then that's what it would be here. And you'd have that here and have it here. And then when you make your next mod, you can replace all instances of this with whatever your new mod is named. This line here is what installs the mod. Okay, so this is the modded folder. You are going to only change this portion. This is the mod folder in the end user's Killer Instinct game, which will get made when they extract your mod. This is the name of the pack that you are editing, which is the same as pack that you're extracting original files from. This line does cleanup, which what it does is it removes the mod folder from mod. So mine is named Bloody Wolf, so it doesn't delete the mod folder itself. It deletes the subfolder Bloody Wolf and whatever leftover files are in there, which there wouldn't be any, it would just be the folder. But it's to keep the folder clean. And that's it. It's that simple. The uninstaller works exactly the same way. You only change stuff that pertains specifically to your character. So it would be your character's name or the game character name and the files that you've altered. Stuff like scripts and folder structures, you do not change. You only change these types of things. Stuff that's pertinent to and specific to your mod. If you change anything else, your mod's not going to install correctly, and it might fuck up somebody's game. So the easiest thing to do is just keep it simple. I've kept it simple. Everything here should be self-explanatory. I'm going to include this in my tool set with the mod, so you can install it and uninstall it and see how it works. Okay, that's it. Okay, one more thing. I'm going to show you how to set up the mod folder. So as I just showed, my mod is called Bloody Wolf. So in the mod folder, I create a folder called Bloody Wolf with an underscore. That's makes it easier for a batch file to read information, so it doesn't have to be contained in quotes. So, and it also makes it simple when you're extracting files across different languages for to use an underscore in between folder names. So, Bloody Wolf, and then this is the actual files for Killer Instinct. So it's characters, Saber Wolf, and then the two files. So then I would pack up my mod as so. Always include the scripts folder, quick BMS, your installation file, and your uninstall file, which I'll create. It's, it's got to be simple. It should be simple enough for everybody to understand. You only replace what's pertinent to your mod. So I'll include an uninstall file, which you can edit to use as a template for your mods. And you just pack this up. That's it. 7-zip, ARC, whatever. Doesn't matter. Pack it up, and then that's how you can release it. And they extract that whole thing into their installation, which I'm going to show you right now. This is fuck it. It's yeah. So like I would name mine Bloody Wolf. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and act like the end user. So the end user would extract it to the root folder with Killer Instinct installation, which is Killer Instinct. We're just going to extract here, and then you double click on install Bloody Wolf. Notice that the only folder that's here is mod and script. Now we have a backup, Bloody Wolf, with characters, Saber Wolf, and the two files that we replaced. These are the original files that were in the pack. If I come over here to pack, DX11, and I search for Saber Wolf, I'll see that it was altered at 8:45 p.m., which is when I injected my mod. If we go over here and look at mod, you'll see it's empty because the installer did the cleanup. This is simple. The uninstall file that I'll create is extremely basic. The only thing it does is it installs the backup. So it overwrites the modded files with the original files. This is why this format for the backup makes everything simple, because the uninstall file is simple. It will install anything that's in the folder that you say, and the best way to keep mods separate is to label them. It makes everything easy. Okay, that's enough on this subject. It's super simple to mod. I'm going to release the tools. Everybody enjoy modding Killer Instinct.